I have created bike, car, rental
No,
service,
sir.
truck, and
Oh,
vehicle.
sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. I was saying Karen was not able to join, but she was able to join.
Okay. Based on our question we have here, we are to develop a rental service application using Java OOP. We are to create a class with the following properties, which are common to all vehicles. So we are to create a class with these properties. The properties which are common are rental, make, and rental price per day. So these model, make, and rental price per day. Are we okay? Extra, extend the class, so we will get there very soon. So the first thing we have to do is create the vehicle class, and the vehicle class is set to have the following properties, which are model, make, and rental price per day. So over here, I will have my model. The model will be a string. And then I will have my make, which will also be a string. And then I have my rental property, which would be a price. So here we can make it a double because it's price per day. So over here, I'll just simply call it price per day. So I have created the three properties that they require from us. Are we okay? Now, over here again, let me add rental over here so that we know exactly what it is for your learning purposes. Now, here, I'm going to give them modifiers. Because this vehicle is going to serve as the parent class for car, bike, and truck, I would give it the modifier protected. Protected, which means that this can be accessed by only its child class and nothing more. So the only thing which can access this model, make, and rental price per day variables we've created or attributes we've created over here are another class, and that's not another class, but a class which is a parent of vehicle. Now, in here, I would create a constructor so that I can use the constructor to construct my application. So again, I'll just press my Control Alt, insert. Oh, sorry, Function Alt insert in my case, and then click here, Function Alt insert, click on constructor, select all of these things and press OK. And then I will have all of these things here for my constructor. That is, once I want to construct a vehicle, it will set all the values here for me to use to construct my vehicle. There's one more thing I have to do here, but I'll pause and then do it later when we have a better understanding of everything. From here, I'll move to car. Now, car is a vehicle. So it means that if parent is a vehicle, so in order for me to do inheritance or utilize inheritance so that I don't have to come and create all the things I created in vehicle again, that is model, make, and then rental per, all of those things again, all I have to do is say extends And that is going to extend what? Vehicles. And this means that all the code in vehicles will come to my extension car. There is a problem here because vehicles does not have the default constructor anymore. We created a constructor. So it means that for me to use this class here, I need to create or give values to the constructor, else I can't use it. If there was a default constructor, it will assume it is default, so I wouldn't have this line. Now, again, because I am referring to vehicles over here, I can use the keyword super in parentheses. Now, the word super over there will allow me to refer to the parent class. So if I use the word super, I can tell the computer that go and get for me everything in which you see over here. Sorry. Everything you see over here. Now, I cannot just write super and use it like this. It has to be in a function. It has to be in a function to be implemented. Hence, I will create a constructor for car that is public. Instead of me using the insert, I'm writing out the code. So car into bracket. Then in here, I am going to accept everything about the model, make, and then rental. And also, I need to accept the seating capacity of the car, because a car will have a make, model, and then the rental per day and its seating capacity. So here I'll have private, seating capacity. Sorry. Oh. Int. And then this closes here. So that over here, I can have int seating capacity. Now, this is what I was saying, that in this class, you do not have model, make, and rental per day. You have model, make, and rental. Please mute yourself. You have model, make, and seating capacity in the vehicle's parent. Hence, the word super, used here will allow me to refer to the parent. In this case, the parent being what? Vehicles. So I want you to go and get all the parameters you get when you are creating the parent. So go and put them all in here. I don't need to add the data types because the data types have been accepted at the top already. And then once you get them all there, go and then put in the value for seating capacity. That is this dot seating capacity is equal to the seating capacity in which you have over here. So now I've created a constructor for the car. That is, the car will inherit every property that vehicle has. Vehicle has model, make, and then rental per day. Now, model, make, and rental per day, I have created a constructor that will construct vehicle for me. That constructor is not the default constructor. That is vehicle, with no parameters. Hence, when I come here, if I don't have the default constructor, how will I put the information that is in make, model, and then rental control? So I need to use the word super to refer to the computer that I want you to go and refer to vehicles. You can see that the word super there is pointing to vehicle because that's the parent. And when you get there, go and put values in model, make, and rental price per day. If you do that, also inside of car, I have added seating capacity. So seating capacity here would be given to seating capacity here. That this keyword makes you know that you are referring to the seating capacity outside and not the seating capacity inside the parameter we have over here. Are there any questions?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Uh, Please, if you could describe what super does again.
If I want to create an object or vehicle, so I have vehicle, then here I give it an object name. Let's say vehicles 1 is equal to new vehicles. Now, this structure here is the default constructor. The moment you create a constructor in your code, so I've created a constructor here, the default constructor does not work again. You can see that it's telling me I have one related problem because the computer doesn't recognize the default constructor anymore. For me to construct the variable, the object vehicle 1, I need to put in some values here. So first of all, I need to put up the make. So let's say it is a Jeep. I need to put up the model, the make, let's say 2025. And then I need to put up the rental price per day, let's say 200 Ghana cedis, right? .00. Good, because it's a this stage. Oh, sorry, I think I pressed something. Are we okay? Now, this allows me to construct vehicles. That's fine. For me to use vehicle in car, you are saying that car is a child of vehicles. That means that anything vehicle has automatically comes into car. So it means that before I start coding, in car, I have model, make, and rental price per day. With that in mind, if I have those things here, how do I get access to them? Because inside vehicles, we are saying that they are protected, which means that nobody can have access to them. And the only way you can have access to them if you are a child of vehicle. In this case, car is a child of vehicle, so it means you can have access to it. But having access to it, it only has access to it through its constructor, which is done over here. So over here, I am setting values the same way I set values here. So you see that when I was creating vehicles, I put in the values here, and the values here will be taken. The Jeep 25 and the 200 will be taken and given to model, make, and then price here. And they will also be given to the ones at the top over here. That is the same way here too. In car, I am taking model, make, and rental price. But model, make, and rental price, as you can see, they are not here. There's no variable here called make, model, and rental price. All of them are in vehicles. And to get access to them, you must construct it. Now, for you to construct it, you need to write a code like this. So it means that over here, over here, inside car, we need to write a piece of code that looks like this in here. But when we do this, we have just created an object. We don't need an object. We are still creating classes. We are still defining the things you can do. So we are saying that when you take those items from the user, that is model, make, and price, go and give them to the constructor that is in the parent. And the word super here allows you to refer to the parent. So you can see that when I put the cursor there, it tells me that I am referring to vehicles, the parent. And I am trying to contact the constructor. You can see the moment I put the cursor there, it shows you that I'm trying to contact the constructor, which will take model, make, and rental price. Hence, when I give values to this, they will be given to the values over here in vehicles. Exactly.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Now, today, there's something else we must learn. And that word is what is an abstract class. And how can we utilize the abstract class in our code? An abstract class is a class that is declared abstractly. As for today, we are getting deep into the coding atmosphere. So forgive me, but today we are going a bit technical with our coding and stuff. And today is the day in which we delve into the practicalities of the things we do. So forgive me if I'm being a bit too practical today, but it is what it is. An abstract class is a class that is declared abstract. Abstract means that it may or may not include abstract methods. An abstract class can be instantiated, but they cannot be subclassed. An abstract method is a method that is declared without an implementation, without brackets and following by a semicolon like this, like this. So over here, just to make things short and then just to show you how they are done practically, okay? Over here, I'm going to create an abstract method in vehicle. So I'm creating the abstract method called car rental charge, and it takes number of days. Now, why have I created this? You see, In vehicle, car rental charge is meaningless because whatever you do, it will be based on if you have a car, a bike, or a truck, that this is going to be implemented. So if I go into the variable called car, I can, at that point in time, say that I'm creating a method here for calculating the number of days that, like calculating the rental charge of the car. So that is the rental price per day times the number of days. So over here, I can override the method in which we have here in rental. Let me say this again. Be too technical here. I have to explain abstract classes today. And an abstract class is a class that is written without, an abstract class or method is one which is written without its implementation. So over here, I am writing this code here. It doesn't have its implementation. Its implementation is this, and then I'll have these things here. So if I take this off here, right, I can have this class in here. Now, this class is supposed to calculate the rental charge of a particular vehicle, be it a car, a bike, or whatever. Now, this piece of code in vehicle is basically meaningless because over here I'll have rental price per day. So this would return rental price per day times the number of what days. So this is how I will calculate my rental charge. So here I have implemented it. If I come to car, in car, I need to tell the computer that, oh, this rental price per day here that I'm referring to, it can be found in the parent. So here I'll just add super dot. And now I can know that, oh, the rental price per day you are referring to is the rental price per day that is found in the what? In the parent. I hope I'm making sense. I hope I'm making sense. So this is what I can find in the parent. So the code there is fine. Now, because each of the vehicles, that is car, bike, and truck, will have their own implementation. Running this implementation here defeats the purpose. So sometimes you want to run this as an abstract class so that its implementations will be run in the children that they are run in. Instead of doing it the way in which I just did. So here I'll have it implemented, but for every time I come to any child, I will tell the computer to override. That is the second form of polymorphism, right? I'll tell it to override it and then use the implementation I want. So maybe if it is track, maybe if they don't do it per day or they add some rate or something, I can add the rate and then I'll have those small modifications I want in my code per the vehicle. Do we understand? Karen, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Sir, I'm trying to.
Oh my God. Luis, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, a little bit.
Hey, what am I saying? You tell me what I'm saying. Hey, tell me what I'm saying. Why rather? McCarthy, are you there?
Yes, I say I'm here.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. But sir, I will also be okay with if you send after that, then you send the recording, then maybe I'll play it and
Now,
go
when you
back.
send the recording, you
Because-
understood what I'm saying. Tell me what I'm saying. Well, what does that have to do with recording? Anyway, let's look at the bike. The bike. In the bike, we have the same thing as that of the car. It's just that for bike, we want to check if it is an electric bike or it is not an electric bike. So for bike, I am checking if the vehicle in question is electric or not. So over here, I'm going to check using private, Boolean, and here I'm checking is what? Electric. Again, I'm going to use a constructor here, and I'm going to construct if it is Boolean. But remember that this class here extends from vehicle. So the moment I bring that, it means that the constructor I did does not take into consideration the packages that come with vehicle. So it means I need to make a modification here by adding all the attributes of the parent, which is model, make, and rental. And after I do that, I need to go and call upon it in here to set them using the keyword what? Super. Once I do that, you can see that nothing is underlined again and my code is fine. Now, in here too, I'm going to override the parent. And I'm overriding the parent when it comes to this part, the calculation of the rental charge. And here I'm saying that I am also going to check using a unary operator that if it is true that the car is electric, then the charge will be added 1.1, but if not, there will be 1.0 added as the charge. Now, this here is a unary operator. It is the same as me saying if into bracket is electric, sorry, if I do it outside the thing, it will not give me, so let me do it inside. So if is electric, then I will do this. That is, let's see, the price is the else I will do this. So over here, we are basically saying that if the person says yes, he's renting an electric car, or no, he's not renting an electric car, based on whatever he will say yes or no, because we are taking a Boolean figure. If it is yes, then we want to add 1.0. If it is no, then we want to add 1.1. If it is no, then we want to add 1.0. 1.0 to it. So over here, it is the same thing. But here we are, instead of me writing all of this code here, I can replace it with the unary operator, which checks the condition here. And then with the question mark to do the yes part here, and then here to do the no part. So all of this code here is the same as me writing this whole thing over here. So I don't need that. I can just put it in this nice line here, and it makes my work easier for me. So it should check if it is yes, it will do this. If it is no, it will do this. And this would be multiplied with this, and then it will give me my rental charge for bikes. Keyword for bikes. For trucks, it's different. If I had a truck, it is different. So if I had a truck, then I would be looking for payload capacity. So for a truck, I'll not just be checking the seating capacity, I'll be looking at the payload capacity, which is going to be private, and it is going to be, private, double, payload capacity. So again, this is also going to extend from the parent word, vehicles. So if I create a constructor here, I can add payload capacity, and then I can add all the parameters and also go and give what is in the parent to it. Again, I will have to override the variable I have over here for calculating the rental charge of the car, because over here, I will have to add a charge for the payload capacity of the car. So, for example, in here, I can say, if the payload capacity of the car is greater than 2.5, then you will pay, in here, int pay, or since you are paying, it should be a double, so double pay. So here, you will pay, let's see, 1.5.2. Other than that, and again, you can add different capacity ranges, but other than that, maybe you are paying, let's say, 1.5 as part of the payments you make. So here I can just add what? Paid. So the idea is that in main, okay, in my main function, I can know what the person is going to rent. I can ask the person, hi, what are you here to rent? The person says, I'm renting a car. Okay, if you're renting a car, then we have to create a class for the car and an object for the car you are coming to rent. So here I have car, and let's say car one being equal to new car. And new car will take the following parameters, the model. So let's say it is Jeep. The make, let's say 2024. The rental price, let's say 30 Ghana, 300 Ghana cedis a day. And then the seating capacity. Let's say the seating capacity is 4. So here it's supposed to be price per day and it's a double, so I have to do it like this. Oh, the person comes and says he wants to rent a bike. So if it is a bike, then we have bike 1 being the bike he has rented. For example, here, if I want to rent another car, then I'll have car what? 2 being equal to new car. And then here I have my model being, let's say, BMW. And here it's a make, let's say it's an S class. And then the rent per day is, let's say, 500. And the seating capacity is, let's say, 2. So this presents me with another car of an individual who can rent. If it's a bike, here I have new bike. And then in here, I have the bike model, let's say, Yamaha, let's say it's 2021. Let's say here, the price of it, the rental price per day is, let's say, 150. And then is it electric? It's a Boolean, so we'll say false. So it is not electric. Of course, here again, it is a double, so it means we have to add the .00 to it and remove the parentheses. Other than that, we will have an error for this line. Every code we add tries a semicolon. So here, this piece of text here allows me to construct a car, not physically, but abstractly, whereby I can just say, okay, for car 1, what is its rental charge? And for car 1, before I can calculate the rental charge, I need some information for car 1. And what information do I need? The number of days the person is going to rent the car for. So it's 5 days. So this will just calculate the charge for car 1 for me. If it is bike, I want to calculate, I need to know the rental, the charge for bike. In here again, all I have to do is type in the number of days. For bike, is it also number of days? Oh, we use the word number of days. We shouldn't. We should have used Boolean. To be honest, we don't need, for this one, we don't need anything here. But for our sake, we can put it, okay, we do need a number of days because the number of days is used in this calculation. So we do need a number of days. So here I'm saying, let's say 6 days. So if it is 6 days, in it, we will also calculate if the bike is electric or not. Now, again, you as the user, the property of abstraction, you don't care about how the calculation of the rental charge is done. All you care about is you want the calculation of the rental charge. For you to get that, you need to know the number of days. But for each vehicle, the calculation of the rental charge is different. So for each one, we can put in the differences there and implement those differences in the main class and display to a particular user. So for a particular user, when you are constructing the object, of course, here we always, in class, because we are learning concepts, I always go from this point here, whereby I put the values in to construct. But here's where you do your system, .out, .print. Please enter, please choose the type of vehicle you would like to rent. Then you would accept the vehicle the person will rent. Then based on the acceptance, you would then accept either make, model, capacity, seating, or is it electric, or then you will use those information to construct your object. Then you would use your object to do your calculations. So here we are assuming that you have collected the information and placed them in their various spots, and you are moving from there. That is one key point I want you to know for the visualization of it. So once you do that, I can then just calculate whatever I want to calculate, because all the hard work here is done for each of the vehicles. This here allows you to create a vehicle, because all of them are vehicle, accept different information for them, but maintain the information which is similar to all of them, and then do calculations using polymorphism. This here allows you to do encapsulation because the data is kept within itself. It allows you to do inheritance using extents. It allows you to do polymorphism, whereby there is a method over here, but we override the method in the children classes so that we can add different implementations of it in our code. Are there any questions, please?
I have a one question. For the truck, for implementing the override on the truck, I didn't completely see the if statements. Could we go to the if statement so I can also implement it as well?
Here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. I have it now.
Okay. Your mid semester will take this kind of shape. You have questions that are like this, and you will be asked to implement all the characteristics of object-oriented programming in it. So your mid semester is going to be of this nature. You will just do two questions. One is 10, one is supposed to be 10 marks, so that you together you will get your 30 marks. I have put into your class group some 3 questions into your class group. You are to choose any 2 of them that you can do as your assignment 1. I'll give you a day in which you open and put it in the module. It should probably be next week, Friday. So by next week, Friday, you should be done with this and put it in your module as assignment 1. You are to write the code, copy the code for each of the classes you have created and put them inside a single PDF file and upload it to the module. Is that clear? Is that
Yes,
clear?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Please, when it is Friday and I open the module and I record the maps and yours is not there, I won't mind you. You heard me right. I won't mind you. I don't care if you did the assignment after that day. The day I will mark. After that day, even if you did it, I won't mind you. To make sure that the time of the assignment, you follow the time of the assignment to the letter of the word. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. So please, next week Friday is 12.
It's what?
12. 12 of April.
Yeah. Why? There's a holiday on 12 of April.
No. I'm just asking if it will be the
Yeah, 12. You're submitting it on.
the deadline for that the submission of the
Yeah,
assignment was 12.
that's
Oh, okay.
the deadline is that. Now, that is assignment 1. Assignment 2 is you guys are supposed to go and download and install Android Studio. You are to download and install Android Studio. Our next meeting will be on campus so that we can see how we can write some applications using Android and using the IntelliJ tool. We'll be doing both. It is very important, and let me say this again, it is very important you understand that people install softwares where you wait for the day the teacher is coming before you go and open it to install. It will not work for Android Studio. For Android Studio, you need at least 4 to 5 gig of data to install. You need super fast internet. And after you install, there are some packages you need to install again before you can utilize that software. I have placed in your class group a video that shows you how to install the Android Studio. If your computer is 4 gig and below, note that if you are installing the Android Studio, you will suffer. If the processing capacity of your software is low, note that you cannot use the emulator to simulate the Android applications. Hence, you will probably have to have an Android phone to do that. If your computer is less than 8 gig, note that if the Android Studio works, and even if it is 8 gig in some computers, it will be very slow. Hence, you need a computer with high capabilities to run the software. The next time we meet, I need the software installed and working. Repeat, installed and working. If you can install the software for it to work, your assignment 2, you have 5 marks. If it doesn't work, you have 0. Is that clear?
Sir.
Yes. Karen, are you there? McCarthy, are you there? Are my students there at all? Am I talking to myself?
So we are here.
I think I'm talking to myself. Again, the question we solved today is the way all your examination questions for the midterm and your final examination are going to be set. It will involve you creating classes, creating subclasses of the classes, implementing relationships using inheritance, and calling upon them to do calculations. It is upon you to be very, very comfortable with the concepts and how to implement them. Not just the concepts, but how to implement. Because in Java Advanced, we are not just looking at you coding the Java, but coding it with a specific concept in mind. Are there any questions before we close? As I said, if you can use...
Well, I was going to say I don't have any questions. I think I'm okay for now.
Okay, as I said, if you can install the software for it to work, you get an automatic 5 marks the next time we meet. The next time we will meet on campus, because we are going to write some code in which I want to see how you guys are writing the code. I understand next week is midterm, or next week there's class.
Next week is midterm.
So it means we'll be meeting the week after that. Are there any questions?
Yes, sir.
All right, then enjoy your Saturday and we'll meet again next week.